Well, theirs is a world like you've never seen before. Goth is all about dark music. It's about symbols of death and even dressing like vampires, right down to the fangs you see here. Tonight, UPN News 13 investigates LA's goth scene from the clubs to the cloths to the creepiest of collectibles. Tammy Taylor is here right now to tell us what she found. Tammy.
I found a lot of interesting stuff there, Alan. You know, it is a controversial and hard to understand phenomenon. Why would people obsess about death, dress up like vampires, and keep dead things around the house? It's about ghoulish nightclubs and music that critics call vulgar and morose. Music that some say feeds an obsession with death and suicide in young people. Distraught parents appear on national talk shows.
This would give you a headache.
Desperate to see their teenagers change. While their adult counterparts hang out in places like the Fang Club, adorned in vampire makeup, elaborate dress, black hair mostly, and fangs.
Hers are permanent.
Welcome to LA's underground Gothic scene. For most of these people, this is a once-a-week costume party, a fun sort of self-expression. But for some, Gothic is a full-time lifestyle.
I'm also a professional and lifestyle dominatrix.
Shady, who's at the Fang Club tonight with fellow dominatrix Sabrina, lives and dresses the part all the time, except her fangs are removable because they're inappropriate for her straight job as a makeup artist.
Can I touch it?
They're sharper than my dog's teeth.
Yes, they are.
Do you bite people with your fangs?
I do. But mine are very sharp, so I have to be very, very careful about how I do it.
Shady describes her look as ethereal and romantic.
It feels natural. I'm very comfortable in this, and I think that it's a form of expression.
It's very vampirish.
Yes, it is.
It's very morbid, yes. This store is very morbid.
A lot of those in the Gothic scene shop in places like this for home decor and accessories. It's called necromance.
The reoccurring theme is death. Coffins, coffin jewelry, bats, spiders, old funerary memorabilia.
Here you find bones of every kind, including human skulls, dead animals.
This is a freeze-dried rat, another nice Gothic symbol. And I also have bottled bats.
Bottled bats. Now that's an item. And people like these dead things.
Sure, my house is full of them.
Why the obsession with death? Peter Thomas, who sells Gothic and fetish clothes on Melrose, says it's not a suicidal thing at all.
They romanticize death, but they're not willing to partake in it, but they embrace it, and they don't really have a problem with it. You know, they see it as something romantic rather than something depressing.
Fantasy plays a big part of it too.
People go from their regular jobs, some of them, executives or whatever, into being a kind of dark-sided, getting into more of the mystery of what life is, and wanting to wear something that brings that out.
Terry King is one of Goth's top clothing designers, dressing the likes of rock star Marilyn Manson and many others. She says the look has a heavy Renaissance influence. She calls it eloquent, almost hedonistic clothing.
It's like a lot of corsets and a lot of velvet and a lot of satin.
And it's a lot of work getting into this stuff.
You can't get dressed by yourself.
No, you can't. It's part of the fun.
Dressing to go out is practically a ritual.
Wigs are like part of the deal,
Yes.
too? Well, it's a different look, huh? I think I look better in blue hair than I thought I would. Do I look like myself?
No.
I guess that's the idea.
Yes, you look a different self. It's a different self.
Which brings us back to all those different selves at the Fang Club. Special effects artist Gavin Decker, who makes fangs, says it's just like Halloween once a weekend.
There's something perfectly all right about things like Halloween and dressing up and being spooky and scary, and that's fine.
It's fun. It's just fun.
It's just fun for the most part.
And how do people get to like this particular type of fun?
My mother was a big fan of vampire movies and horror movies.
My mom started me off on ghost stories and horror movies, and I think I just took off from there.
Nice to know you can always blame the mother. Well, does it look scary and threatening? Yes. Is it dangerous or harmful? Well, it doesn't seem so. These are really nice people. Nice people who just like to do their own thing.
Bottled bats and your blue hair. Huh?
And my blue hair, right.
I want you parents at home to picture this. Your daughter or your son is going out on the town tonight. Do you know what they'll be wearing? Any idea? Where they'll be going? What they'll be doing? Moms and pops, do you recognize your child in this studio crowd? And what a crowd it is. Whatever happened to yuppies and the new conservative movement and the whole AIDS-driven age of innocence? Have we come back to the bold, bare, boisterous basics of nightlife? Is the AIDS scare and all the others passé? For better or worse, have our youngsters return to the 70s style sex, drugs, and rock and roll? We're about to find out, because the new night people, the agony and the ecstasy, is the focus of this edition of Geraldo. Get a shot of the one with the Fruit Loop skirt. Can you see that? Well, the other one on the telephone. I like that. She's got an important call. I love your hat, darling. Love it. Before we enter the world and witness the lifestyle of the current generation of night people, to give you an idea of what's in store, our cameras followed one of the town's best-known night creatures. Her name is Tony. As with most of these club kids, Tony's personal party doesn't start until around midnight, when the lights go out and most of the rest of us are already fast asleep. Take a look.
Energy makes a good party. Makes a really good party. As long as the people are enthusiastic, they're having fun, they're stylish, there's something a little kooky and off the wall about them, they'll add to the whole party scene. Well, I think that the club scene has a lot to do with like sensuality and stuff, especially now because of the whole AIDS crisis. People aren't, I guess, having sex as much, so you have to substitute something in there, and I guess like dressing up very sensually and looking very sexy all the time, it almost fulfills some type of need that you can't fulfill at this day and age without risking your life. My parents think that my lifestyle is fine this way. As long as I can keep up my grades in school, they see nothing wrong with it. It's actually not that difficult to balance schoolwork and going out as long as you're a disciplined person. As long as you do your work. I mean, you don't go out until about 12 o'clock at night, and you get out of school at about 6 o'clock, so from 6 to 12 you study. And then you go out until 4, get up the next day, go to school, come home and study, and then go out, etc., etc. Michael! Hi! How are you? Yeah, good, how are you? There's the ABCD system for letting people into a club. The A people are people that get in for free and drink for free, and they're the real super VIPs. Then there's the B crowd that gets in for free but has to pay for their drinks. Then the C crowd, which is sort of the filler crowd. They look good, something trendy about them. It can be anything from like the lipstick color to a hat to a pair of shoes to an attitude to the group as a whole. It can be anything. They get in. And then the D crowd, as he put it, is disqualified and they don't get in at all. In comparison to a lot of people, I haven't been around that long in the club scene. I think that a couple of years ago, there were a lot of people were doing more drugs than now. It's also moved to different types of drugs. I think cocaine used to be the big thing. People aren't into cocaine anymore. It's more of an ecstasy, escapist drug. But during the day, I'm sort of like a little girl. I'm 20 years old, and I'm in New York, and I'm going to school. But then you go out at night, and I like the whole glamour aspect of it, and I like being a movie star. Everyone wants to be a movie star.
You'll hear a relatively new term today, celebutants. We'll meet our celebutants of nightlife. First is Michael Alec. Michael never imagined what life could be like when he left his small town in Indiana to experience nightlife in the Big Apple. Oh, this looks terrific. Look at that. This is Julie Jules, who's teaching a course. She actually is teaching a course on club etiquette to other club kid hopefuls who desperately want to follow in her very popular footsteps. Michael Tron. He's an artist who spends his evenings networking his way to success. Michael's bar mitzvah, you should know, was held at the legendary and notorious Studio 54. His dad, where's Stan? Stan, raise your hand. Are you there? There. That's his dad. Now, I don't know how that computes, but he'll explain why he paid for the bar mitzvah at Studio 54. RuPaul, currently known in his circles as the Queen of Manhattan 1990. You'll find out why. Michael Musto, he's a nightlife columnist for the Village Voice who has dedicated his life to recording the events of what he dubbed these people the celebutants. Suzanne Bartsch, a leader of the pack from Switzerland, transforms night spots into decadent playgrounds for young clubbers. Rudolph, he's the consummate club director. He's currently in charge of the current in-spot. It's called Quick, and the slightly more venerable club called Mars. And this is Tony, whom you just saw in our tape piece. She says she goes clubbing 4 or 5 times a week, doesn't need a lot of sleep to get through her day. The crowd seemed to laugh, Tony, when you said you had no trouble balancing your nightlife with your schoolwork. Did they know something we don't?
I think it was a shot of me at my desk leafing through my books that really got everyone going.
Is that the outfit you wear when you're at school?
Oh, most definitely.
Oh, okay. In addition, we have a cast of thousands of these in-people wannabes and never-weres here in our studio audience. I wish you were here, ladies and gentlemen. I wish you were here. It is great. It is terrific. Now, Tony, let's start with you. Really, you're 20 years old. Is this what you do for a living? Is this what you want to do?
No, I go to NYU Business School, and I'm studying finance and marketing, and I like to design. I've been in a theater company for a long time. This is just play for while I'm in school.
Is this outrageousness here a fair representation of what the nightlife
Oh,
you
it's
see?
wonderful. These are the best people here.
I have to tell our audience that we had a standing room only crowd, and the overflow is in the adjacent studio. We just couldn't even squeeze them all in. Now, Rudolph, it's business to you, isn't it?
It is. However, I started also studying economics, and I have a PhD in economics, and then again, nightlife took over forever. And I've been doing this for 22 years, and I'm ready to do it for another 22 years before I retire.
But I tell you, don't you, as I right now, feel like a grandfather looking at these kids and what's happening?
Never. I feel the same age, and I have to identify with everybody that, you know, I make parties with.
Is this what's happening now? Is this, you know, we're showing this to millions of Americans. Is this what New York nightlife at least is like?
This is what New York should be and what it is. Also, a fraction of it, sure.
Now, Suzanne, you hail from Switzerland?
I am via London.
Via London?
Yeah, I had a stop there, long stop.
Now, how did you, do you think, develop your notoriety or your fame in your circles as a nightlife princess?
I think the thing I do best is mixing different cultures. And I came to New York, and the nightlife I thought was really tired. And I wanted to make an event for me where I could go and be myself, dress up, have people come there, not be criticized and do whatever. And I took New York ingredients, like these people here, ingredients, and different cultures, muscle men, and I mixed a lot of things. And I think that's, plus I have a fashion background, which encourages people to look at me, to dress.
Yeah, could you stand? Let's see your dress. Could you stand?
It's all got to stop. They've had enough. The worms are turning. The rebellion of the long hairs is getting underway. They're tired of persecution. They're tired of taunts. They're tired of losing their jobs. They're tired of being sent home from college. They're tired of being sent home from school. They're tired even of being refused the dough. So with the nucleus of some of his friends, a 17-year-old, Davy Jones, has just founded the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Long-Haired Men. Well, here we are. Long-haired men, you've got to have your hair, what, 9 inches long before you can join?
Well, I think we're past that over now. So.
Have you?
Yes.
Now, exactly who's being cruel to you?
Well, I think we're all fairly tolerant, but for the last 2 years we've had comments like darling and can I carry a handbag thrown at us. I think it's just had to stop now.
But does this surprise you that you get this kind of comment? Because after all, you've got really rather long hair, haven't you?
We have, yes. Yeah, it's not too bad, really. No, I like it, and I think we all like long hair. And we don't see why other people should persecute us because of this.
How are you going to set about this campaign?
Well, I don't know. I think the real sort of thing we should do is to try and get more followers behind us so that we can sort of march in protest, sort of ban the bomb all over again, you know, only against hair, you know, people persecuted.
Baldermaster.
And I think gradually it will work, yeah.
Now, you see, a lot of people, you can't tell the difference between a man and a woman, can they, if you've got your hair that long?
Oh, well, that's ridiculous. If the stage has got to the point when you can't tell either sex by a few inches of hair, I think it's a pretty poor show, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I tell it. Yeah. Now, why did you grow your hair long in the first place?
Well, I think most of us just like it long, whereas some like it short. Others like us like it long.
But did you grow it long in order to stand out in a crowd?
Mine was next to it. I just forgot to have it cut for quite some time.
Yeah, for a long time, I should think. well, I mean, did you get this off the Rolling Stones, really?
Oh, no, definitely not.
But did any of you have your hair growing long more than 2 years ago,
Yes.
Seth?
Oh, yeah.
Did you? Before the Rolling Stones ever did?
Well, it takes a long time to get this length, you know.
It just
it's
doesn't
quite
grow
easy
overnight.
to
That's because the Rolling Stones.
Can I ask you what you say when you go into the hairdressers? When you go into the hairdressers,
I don't go.
I don't
last year.
Don't you go and have it shampooed and set?
No, our mums do it, if anything.
Your mothers do it?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, very good at it. They're better than I could ever be.
When was the last time that any of you ever went to a barber?
3 years ago.
3 years?
I went just over a year ago.
Look, exactly how are you going to stop people being cruel to you? Come on, that's your idea.
Well, if anybody is chucked out of a factory job or removed from a public bar or saloon bar, you'll get a petition written up and sent to either the LCC, the people that hold the publishing's license.
But do you think this will do any good?
Well, it better do.
It will help. People will eventually, I think,
but do you really think that many people are on your side, is what I'm saying?
Oh, yes, there's quite a few, 1,000 teenagers over Britain.
All of them with long hair?
No, lots of them wouldn't like to have long hair.
They haven't got
wishing they had got long hair.
Either their companies they work with or their parents don't allow them to have long hair.
No, well, I can well understand this, can't you? Mind you, I'm talking out of a sort of sense of jealousy, in a way, seeing you over there with so much, and I should have gone and had a haircut today.
Alan, welcome back. Welcome back. Nice to see you. How you doing?
Great.
Great. Well, cheer up. You got 2 admirers who are here to see you. What's happened since the show? How are things with your dad?
He's still nagged. I have to go to his work, and he makes me wear Everlast shoes and stuff. It really bothers me.
So you're still having problems with him because of the way you look. Well, you know you have 2 admirers who are dying to meet you. One is Max and one is Christine. Let's meet them. Come on out.
All right.
Sure do look compatible, don't they? Max, what caused you to write to us to meet Alan? What was it about him?
I just think he's really beautiful physically, and
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I also think he was really brave to come on this show and wear a skirt and makeup and stuff like that, especially a boy of his age, and he could get his ass kicked.
And what about you, Christine?
I just think he's a completely intriguing type of person. I think he's proud of who he is, and he should be proud of who he is. I think that many guys wouldn't come out on stage like that, you know? I mean, he plays it off very well. That's pretty cool.
I think you're all unique, and I just was wondering, if you don't mind me asking, about your jobs. Yeah.
I live as a fire breather.
Yeah, he's a fire breather. We know that. Boy.
I ride
Hope you have
horses.
life insurance.
I give riding lessons to kids.
You give riding lessons.
And I train horses.
How do you see when you're on the horse?
I have it in a helmet when I'm on the horse.
Oh, okay. Dumb question. Niall?
I'm a musician.
Musician. All right, we have to take a break, but you know what, you guys? How'd you like to go out to dinner, the 3 of you, on us?
Definitely.
Yeah? All right, have fun. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
All right.
Let me introduce our punk rockers to you today. This is Natalie sitting next to me, born and raised here in New York City, graduated from the Hewitt School for Girls on the Upper East Side, currently a junior at NYU. A boyfriend is the leader of the band Murphy's Law. His name is Jimmy Gestapo, and you just waved to Jimmy, right? Jimmy's in Astoria right now. Okay. Next to her is Todd, who is 16 years old, born in New York City, been in the hardcore scene since he was 11 years old. 15 months in reform school, it says here, Todd. Plays guitar for the band The War Zone, a junior high school dropout. Christine, next to him, attending Pratt Institute in Brooklyn, been into the punk scene for 6 years. She's about 21 years of age. Ray, one of the more outspoken members of the punk underground here in New York, been in and out of a lot of bands, around 21 years of age. And next to him is Debbie from Canada, left there when she was 13, currently writes a fan magazine for punks. Okay, now look, we've all seen, you know, the punks around town. I want to know why you chose this lifestyle. Let's start with you, Natalie. Why?
Why not?
No,
I mean,
other than that.
Well, I mean, everybody's into their own thing. You know, I mean, there's some people are into heavy metal, some people are into being junior executives. We're into this just because this scene gives you the opportunity to be an individual, and you get to say what you want to say and do what you want to do. And if anyone disagrees with you, they can come up to your face and tell you so.
But Debbie, you know, when they write about it, the writers always say this was born out of a frustration that you guys had somewhere along the way with your parents, with your family, with Suburban.
I don't know. These experts keep writing all these stupid books and having these stupid talk shows. Like Phil Donahue had this ridiculous show on. I'm sorry, Phil, but you really blow. And all he did was put words in our mouths. He kept coming up and going, "You hate your parents, right? You hate your parents. You're all fascist Nazis, right? Right?" And we're like, "Where are you getting this from, Phil?"
Well, he's getting it from the same place we get it from what we read about it.
Well, where do you read these things?
Well, New York Magazine for one. Okay, let's start with that. That was just out a couple months ago.
Peter Blounder should not be allowed to write for Bazooka Bubblegum Comics. Guy's a completely incompetent journalist.
Well, then tell me where it comes from, because it is kind of an eccentric way of life.
You know what it is? These people get these ideas. All right, we're going to do this great story on this like bizarre cult, right? And they go down to bars and they eavesdrop in on conversations, and then they don't even print the whole truth. What they do is pick the most sensational, you know, stories, sex, drugs, orgies, you know, I mean, like, the whole article is supposed to be on the music scene, and he ends up writing about my sex life. Who cares about my sex life?
I do.
Oh, well, Regis.
But, you know, in the 50s, the beatniks, even though it's like you're revolting against something, perhaps, there still is a conformity. You can see that you all basically have things in common. You do look alike. How can you say that it's an individual expression when there truly are? Your hair is basically the same and you have tattoos and things.
I don't have any tattoos.
Well, but it's obvious meeting that.
I don't think I look like Debbie, and I don't think I look like Christine.
But it's the same way you guys all think that you're all
You guys look a lot more alike than we do.
But you all look like something else.
That's what I'm saying. Is there any difference? We all look alike, and you all look alike.
But we're more like a family.
Yeah.
You see, we look out for
like each other.
I've been taking care of him for like 5 years, and like he's like my brother, you know. And like, I don't even like if I didn't know her and I saw her in the street, and just 'cause she's into punk or hardcore, and she was like, you know, need some food or something, I just buy for her because we're like a big family. You don't find that in like heavy metal and a lot of other kinds of music. Most of them are into drugs and like destruction and stuff. We're not into that. We all like look out for one another.
What exactly are you into? Would you say hardcore?
Well, see, like
it's getting so cliche. Hardcore.
Yeah, hardcore. It gets like, you know.
It's another label.
It's really
I think
that's the point of the scene is not to be labeled. We don't want to be labeled. You know, we don't want to be. There's all these scenes like the yuppies, the preppies, the Japs, the heavy metal kids. You know, we all ended up getting labeled because people have in society they have to classify you. They have to put you in a category because they have to explain you. If they can't explain you, then people start getting nervous. What are these kids up to? What's going on with them?
All right. Now, do you go to NYU dressed like that?
Yes.
You do.
Yes, I do.
What about your parents? How do they feel about this? How does your family feel about it?
My mother loves him. My mother's very supportive. It's up to me. She respects my opinions as an individual. She thinks I can think for myself, and she knows if I have to do this, then I have to do this.
Do you have a job?
I have 3 jobs.
What do you do?
I go to school full-time. I'm a part-time studio assistant for Spiderweb Studios. I'm a part-time assistant for an artist on 24th Street. I work in the school library at Pratt Institute. I'm a fine arts major full-time at Pratt.
Now, Christine,
I'm putting myself
are
through
you
school,
dressed
by
the way
way.
you dress when you go to these jobs, or are you dressed for us the way you dress at night?
Since I've been in New York, I dress the way that I want to. Before I moved down here, it was a lot harder. I tried to tone it down a little bit, but, you know, it really got me angry to have to do that because I'm a very competent person. I can work as well or better than anyone that dresses conservatively or straight.
and that doesn't really have anything to do with
So
job
you're not
performance.
rebelling against anybody. You just
I'm
chose
just doing
this.
what I want to do.
You're doing what you want to do. We'll pause. We'll come right back in a moment.
And you call yourselves, you're Marilyn Manson because?
Because that's my name.
Twiggy? Uh-huh. And Madonna Wayne Gacy?
Yes.
You're not going to help us understand the...
Oh, you want to understand where the name came
Yeah.
from? I've always watched talk shows. I haven't got to watch yours very often, though. I watch more of the trashier ones, but I found that Marilyn Monroe and Charles Manson, about 5 years ago, when I thought of this, were the two most memorable people from the 60s. I thought it was interesting that things like talk shows put them on the same kind of celebrity status. And I thought that dichotomy of positive and negative, putting those two names together, represented what I had to say and what I was about.
You wanted that.
First of all, I want to say how sorry I am for the parents. And second of all, to the young people, I think it's probably a wonderful way to feel involved and to be part of something. And dancing is a wonderful way to get out your frustration. The only problem I have is the hurting. I'm sure that there's a much better way to get out your energy than hurting other people.
You don't go out. In response to that, you don't go out intentionally to hurt anybody. If somebody gets hurt in the process, then so be it. That's just comes with the territory. But you don't actually go into the pit and say, yeah, well, look at that guy. Maybe I'm going to go bust his nose. That's not how it works. That's not how it happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's random.
Exactly.
You're not at anybody. You're just getting out what's inside you.
Right. Exactly.
You're not aiming at anybody in particular.
Yes. Mr. Manson, may I call you Mr. Manson?
You sure?
From Seconds magazine, you're quoted as saying, you have to take responsibility. You reap what you sow, and you have to clean up after yourself. I'm sick of people always trying to blame movies, bands, songs, or talk shows for whatever. Teen suicides, drug overdoses, everything else. If someone's stupid enough to kill themselves because of a song, then that's exactly what they deserve. They weren't contributing anything to society. It's one less effing idiot in the world. There's too many people. If more people killed themselves over music, it wouldn't disappoint me. It would disappoint me in that it's said that people are that stupid.
Exactly.
I want to know why it is that all of you seem to have satanic signs all over you, and what is it that makes... Does this music cause you to do what you do?
Is that directed at us or the parents?
That's funny. Twiggy? That's your little
does the
tape
music
recorder?
cause us
Okay.
to do what we do? We cause the music to do what it does, I think.
Yeah.
I think that moshing is a sign of what Christians would call the apocalypse.
Great gnashing of teeth.
It's, you know, the culture is just getting more and more destructive, and I think it, you know, this is just a sign of the times.
Yeah.
And I didn't invent it, you know?
No, you didn't. In fact, you look a little like Alice Cooper.
Would any of the moshers know how many deaths have occurred?
Well, the Mitchells are only too painfully aware of one. I don't know of any other.
This is the first I've ever heard of, and one at Woodstock.
Well, but we have a broken back over here. Woodstock, too, featured moshing, didn't it?
Absolutely. That was the biggest pit in the world, and it was great.
There's also a difference between the moshing, I think, which isn't as violent as stage diving. I think stage diving tends to be ignorant. If you're going to jump off a stage, you can only expect to get hurt. We try and discourage people from even coming on the stage, because that's my place of business. If you come where I'm doing my business, then you should plan on doing business or you're going to get hurt.
Doing business, in other words, if they come up on the stage...
There's a lot of heavy instruments and things like that. If you're coming up there, you're going to get hurt. There's a good chance. You know, we try and discourage people from coming on the stage.
Right, how do you do that?
We make an announcement before the show.
But if somebody comes up on the stage, they're likely to be...
Well, the bouncers shove them back out, and that's how they end up getting hurt all the time.
Well,
yeah, I do too. If they hit me, I'm going to hit them back.
Right. Here you are with a bit of profanity with a stage crasher. Watch this. Marilyn Manson, the performer, encounters a citizen from the audience and says what?
Coming up here, you're going to get beaten or raped.
That's funny. Yeah. Man. Thanks, Twiggy.
These are all my generation, and I know everyone says moshing is violent, and I don't mosh, but I've been to places where there's moshing. Nobody forces you into a mosh pit.
Exactly.
You know, if you don't want to go, you don't have to. And these people have formed a trust between them that can't be formed in other places.
You can't tell me that putting a bunch of males in the middle of a dance floor going like this isn't asking for it.
No, because I've been to mosh places, and I don't have to go into the pit if I don't want to. Nobody drags me in there.
If you want to go to the club or the show, there's clubs on Long Island. This is Club Smashlight you can go to. You can hang out, have a good time. You don't have to get involved. If you want to get involved, you know what to expect when you get out there. If you have any fear of getting hurt, you wouldn't go out there in the first place. But you're not there to get hurt. You're there to have a good time.
It also depends on what band you're going to see. If you go to see bands like some of the local bands like Hermaphrodite or Marble or some of the big bands where there's a lot of moshing, you know it's going to be there. So if you don't go and see those bands if that's not what you're into.
Yeah, what's to prevent some yahoo from bringing a shiv into this crowd?
9 times out of 10 when you walk into the club, they frisk you.
Huh? They frisk you?
We have metal detectors.
You have metal detectors. How are you going to get through that?
Well, they take a wand to it. If it's like the collar or something like that, they'll know it's that. But they'll check jackets.
They
and
make
stuff.
you pull out your pockets if they feel your keys in there or anything that you have to pull it out, show them what it is.
Right.
People aren't bringing in knives.
And we shouldn't be off-put by your look. As you want us to, I suppose, black lipstick? No. You know, this is not what your father dreamed for you at this age.
Yeah, but my parents don't mind. They're very liberal on it. They're not like,
And you are drug-free, and you're not stealing anybody's hubcaps or anything else? You're not promiscuous?
I have a legitimate job. I work at a club. I work at a record store.
And this is what you enjoy doing?
Yes.
And you can take care of yourself?
Exactly.
Don't you have a little empathy, however, for the Mitchells and also for the parents of these young? We're talking 17, 16, and 16 here. You're not concerned about this?
I feel horrible
about it. Absolutely.
We heard about that the night it happened. Everybody heard about it.
Mr. Mitchell wanted to say, sir.
I don't have a problem with the bands or the music unless they encourage it, and I don't know if they do or not. The fact that Chris went on a stage and jumped off doesn't make much sense to me sometimes either. But if it's going to be, you know, I think the club owners or venue that's doing this could stop that in some way or other. If the band don't want the kids on the stage, then the kids shouldn't go on the stage. If you don't want them to get hurt, I don't think the bouncers should be throwing them back off.
No, they shouldn't.
You know, not in a violent way anyway. Stopping them from coming up is one thing. Okay?
But this is, to me, is as close to shouting fire in a crowded theater as you can get. Yeah. I think the stage is set here. The fuse is lit. And all you need are a couple of elbows, a couple of punches, more people get involved, and pretty soon everybody's at the door crushing everybody else. Yeah. I don't have to give you the speech about the tragedies that have developed at, for example, at rock concerts.
You're a digger. What are you doing?
I do.
What do you mean?
I do. I make love. I bring food to starving spades out there in Newark, and that's what I'm doing here tonight. And we're going to have a bee in there, and I make love.
I can really tell you about my new religion we're working on. Tell me about your new religion. It's the True Light Beavers. Can you all see it?
He's number 7. He's beautiful.
True Light Beavers have 2 tenets. One is that God is the absence of garbage. I thought it was a baseball team. Well, we're working on that.
Well, I wish these guys could explain what they're about more. I think it's kind of a put-on, basically. You know, if you got something that you're trying to say, I wish you could say it.
See, hippies were created by the press. I mean, it was created from outside. It was a thing masked by the media, right? A love thing, a white thing, like the Spade said. It's a white thing. I'm not a hippie. Hippies are fags. Sorry about that.
What's so different about what you see under this long hair than what you see behind one of the cameras, who are groovy guys? Like, I played baseball. I'm a Boy Scout. My father was a Scoutmaster. This is a riff, man. You know, it really is. I'm wearing my hair long because somebody else is, and I want to please them, right? Like Brian Epstein, who is started this long hair in England, man. For us, I'm talking about for us in America. He brought John, Paul, Ringo, and George, right over here, and I picked up on it because everybody else picked up on it, and that's the only reason I'm doing it. And this is a game. I'm having fun.
They're alienated from a lot of the things in American society, but they're very American too, like you just said. You know, it's sort of the Boy Scout movement only one step ahead. It's togetherness in McCall's magazine only in a group.
Who's stoned? Is anybody in here stoned?
Stone,
yeah. I'm stoned, man.
Stone. Who else is stoned?
Stoned is stoned.
All right, well, okay, maybe we found a common denominator amongst hippies, whether you call it a movement or not, and that's drugs. Okay.
Free. Everything's free.
Everything's free. I mean, I think we stand for the destruction of property.
What will come out of the destruction of property?
That's pure Karl Marx. Are you communist?
Well, am I communist? I don't know. See, I guess in a way I am, because
communist?
we were standing in Harvard Square passing out poems, and some cat come up and call us a communist and punch us all in the mouth. So I guess I am a communist too, right?
This medium destroyed the use of the word. I can't tell my girl I love her anymore, because like she's seen that in 500 John Wayne movies, man. You know, I love you, Samantha.
Right, well, we're into another thing now. We're into a semantic thing.
What I'm saying is, you can't use the word. It's so commercial now, man. Like, it was blipping on the screen, and, you know, that's cool. That's a graphic thing, but it's going down too much now. Like, that's what they're arguing about. Like, what does it mean? It doesn't have a meaning anymore.
Well, we've finally come down to a kind of equilibrium. That's all we've got time for tonight. Join us next week.
Hey, my mother's
Join us
watching.
next week at 9 o'clock. I don't really know what the show's about. It's a bit chaotic, but join us then. Good night.
Duracell lasts longer.
Tests prove after just a few hours of continuous use, regular carbon batteries wear out.
There are various types of gangs operating in Ireland at the moment in all our major cities. They are punks, mods, rockers, Teds, greasers, futuristics, new romantics, blitz kids, skinheads, Rudy skinheads, boot boys, Hells Angels, bikers and scab boys. And we have some representatives of various gangs on the programme tonight, starting with, closest to me, a gentleman called Donncha McDonough, who is 20 years of age. He's unemployed. He's been a punk for 6 years. He is from Crumlin, and he is one of 11 children. Beside him, we have Siobhan Corrigan, who's 19. She's been a punk for 4 years, and she's a sales assistant. She's from Drimna, the eldest of 4 children. Next, we have John Fiddler, who is 20. And he's a first-year student of fashion and textiles at the National College of Art and Design. He's from Killiney, the eldest of 2 children. It says here he's been dressing strangely for 5 years. Gerard Quinn, finally, is 20. He is a mod. He's been a mod for 3 years. He's unemployed. He's from Fatima Mansions, and there are 16 children in his family. Let us talk to them a while about the sort of things that many people would think strange and what they do. For example, Donncha. The philosophy of being punk, what's it about, Donncha?
It's a rebellion against the old system that we were born into and we're supposed to live by. But we don't agree with today's system, so we rebel against it in our appearance, the way we dress, and the way we think, mainly.
Are you into violence, Donncha, at all?
Well, it's centred around us because a lot of straight people have a violent attitude towards us, and everyone seems to think it's us that are the violent people, but we're not. Quite the opposite.
And how do the other members of your family, there are 11 children in the family altogether, how do they react, and how did they react when you started dressing the way you are?
Well, it reacted strangely at the start, but after a matter of years, they just kind of get used to you, so just don't think about you, you know.
And you're unemployed, I know. What do you do all day with yourself?
Not much. Not much.
Well, I mean, do you go into town every day and walk around?
Basically just stay at home, sit around.
Yes, and do you go out at night?
No, there's nowhere to go. And nowhere they let you in.
How do you mean there's nowhere they let you in?
No pubs or clubs, discotheques, nothing. They even don't let you into some restaurants.
They just won't let you in?
Just basically won't. They think you're trouble. And
well, is there anywhere in Dublin that you are allowed in?
There's one pub. That's basically it. It's on...
One pub?
Yeah.
And you all presumably foregather there then, do you?
Well, a few of us, we keep it numbers down so there's no trouble.
Yes. Well, why do it then, Donncha, if life is made so difficult for you?
A challenge.
A challenge? Challenge against whom?
Against everyone around us apart from ourselves. Like anyone that tries to dictate.
All right. Now, Siobhan Corrigan, good day to you. And what about your parents' attitudes? How do they react?
Well, like in the beginning, like, was shock, oh no, you know. And then, like, they thought it was like a phase I'd grow out of. So, say, give her this 3 months or 4 months, you know.
Yeah.
Like, seeing it's gone on so long, like, they realise that I don't get into trouble or anything like that. And I'm hopefully not offending anybody by the way I dress. I'm doing what I enjoy. And, they've become used to me in a way, like, you know.
Yes, you're the eldest of 4.
I am, yeah.
And what's the reaction of your brothers and sisters to you?
Like, it all depends, like, on what kind of situation you're in. Because, like, if naturally you're being nice to them and saying, here's your money or here's some sweets or something, they're going to be, oh, great, yeah, great, you know. But, like, if you're arguing or anything with them, it's the total opposite, like, stay you and all this, you know, so.
And why do you dress the way you do? Why do you...
Well, I like the dress, for a start. And then you're being different, like, you're not just falling in with the usual crowd, like, you know. And then I feel quite comfortable in the way I dress, you know.
Yes, and what about, were you, if you're a punk for 4 years and you're 19, you must have started in school.
Yeah.
What school were you in?
Loretta College.
And you started this lark?
In school, yeah.
Yes. And what was their reaction?
Like, today I got a streak in my hair with some blue in it. I was called down to the head office. And the sister asked me had I got an operation on the side of my head. And we weren't allowed to wear nail varnish. They're still not. Yeah. But like I was wearing this bright green nail varnish from the weekend and I was trying to hide it. Like that, and I kind of went, oh. I suppose that's so much our uniform, you know, because I was a green uniform, you know, so. And
were you suspended?
Well, no, I wasn't. I didn't get into much trouble over that.
Yeah, and they got used to you too, did they?
They did, yeah. They got...
Eventually.
To live with.
Yes. So you never had any major disagreement with them. John Fiddler, first-year student of fashion and textiles, National College of Art and Design from Killiney. 2 children in your family. What do you consider yourself to be, John?
Well, I wouldn't call myself anything. I wouldn't put myself in any category at all. I'm just quite a normal person, really.
But, I mean, under the various categories that we have of punks, mods, rockers, Teds, greasers, futuristics, new romantics, what would you be more inclined towards?
Well, I wouldn't be inclined to any of them, but just the last 5 years, whatever's gone along the last 5 years, that's what's influenced me, like music-wise or style-wise, so...
Yes.
That's what I am.
Now, you're obviously wearing eye makeup and eyeshadow and so on.
Yeah, a little bit.
And what is that in your nose?
It's a stud.
A stud, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Why particularly do you wear makeup?
Well, under these bright lights, you know, you'd show up all the spots and pimples if you didn't wear it.
But do you wear the makeup during the day?
Well, it depends. I mean, when you get up in the morning, it depends whether you want to put it on. A bit of foundation will do you the world of good. Well, I mean, if you've ever gone into Dublin during the day, you come out and your face is just filthy. It's all black bits over it and everything, you know. But you can just wipe it all off if you've got makeup on and your skin's as fresh as a daisy. That's
what about your parents' reaction to you in Killiney, John? What was...
I don't know what in Killiney's got to do with it. But yes, they thought it was a phase I was going through. And so did I, but something happened, so it's not a phase. But I'm still growing, so I'm only young.
So, well, I mean, do you live at home?
I do, yeah.
Yes, and what do your parents ever discuss this situation? Do you think they're upset about it, or do they?
No, they know what I'm like. I mean, my hair is. Well, I mean, that's just my hair, you know. They know what kind of a person I am.
Yes.
That's what matters.
And do you think they worry about neighbours and other
people? They do, of course.
Do they?
But I mean, that's the neighbours' fault for sort of making them worry in the first place.
Yes. Do you have to work? Do you have to work hard to get your hair like that, John? Or?
Well, it depends what kind of a hurry I'm in. Like, I've had time to do it for tonight. Of course, I've done it especially for you. I wouldn't wear this to breakfast. It would take too long to make. Like,
you wouldn't wear it to breakfast, yes?
No, I wouldn't.
Well, thank you for making the effort for the late show.
I thought I'd give you something that would be exciting.
Yes, indeed. Well, now, Gerard Quinn, you're 20, a mod for 3 years, and you're unemployed, and I know you like the mods. Do all mods ride Vespas?
Well, if you have the money, you ride a Vespa gig.
Yeah. How much is a Vespa running at now in cash?
Well, they're all different prices. Well, say like 1,400.
£1,400. And then how much are you stung for insurance on that?
£400.
Yeah. What is the thing about Vespas? And I mean, specifically Vespas. There are other scooters on the market, but you all ride Vespas. Why that?
Because you can't get a Lambretta in this country.
Oh. See, that's lateral thinking. I never thought of that. I thought there was somebody still bringing in the old Lambrettas. That's it.
Well,
now,
there will be.
you are remarkably clean cut in your hair and style and so on, compared with the others. Explain that to me.
That's all about being a mod. It's well-dressed. It's a style. Like in the 60s, you know, like mod came out around 64, 63. And ever since then, you know, like, it's always been the same. Nothing has really changed about it. It's only that up to today now, 1980s, the clothes are getting more stylish. But we basically, you know, dress on the 60s. We go by music by the 60s. Things like that. And the scooters.
Yeah.
Go for runs.
Yes.
Like in the 60s, mods go away on the weekend. Like over in England there in the 60s, to go to Brighton, Scarborough and all like this.
Yeah.
But over here, we can't do that. So we either go to Tramore, down the country, like Galway, Limerick, Carlow, Cork, tour around on the scooters.
In a bunch?
Yes.
About how many of you in a bunch?
About 70 or 80 scooters. We meet up from different counties.
Well, so Jade, how would you describe your friend's appearance? How would you describe her?
She's crazy. Look at her. She's been called Raggedy Ann on crack.
How many piercings do you have?
57.
57? How many of those are visible?
All of them but 13. I guess, yeah.
Okay. Who does these piercings for you?
Me.
All of them? All 57? Have you ever had a problem, like with infection or anything?
No,
Nothing?
I mean, I don't want to go to like some place and just like pull my pants down and be like, pierce me, you know? So I do it myself.
Hey, like, what, you just sitting at the crib one day and just decided, like, I'm just gonna stick myself or something? You watching cartoons? I mean...
He's been doing it forever.
When was your first... How old? You say you're 25 years old?
Yeah, just about 26.
You're almost 26. When was the first piercing? How old were you, and what made you do the first one? And where was it?
Well, I did my ears and stuff. I pierced them all up, and I did them myself.
How old?
About 12.
So you pierced your own ears at 12? When did you start the body piercings? At what age?
I guess I was 15 when I first did my nose.
Okay, look at some. We have a couple of pictures, by the way. A childhood picture of Kim. And here are some more current pictures of Kim. Yeah.
Like,
how do you get your hair?
She just, like, people honk at us, like, we'll be driving in the car, and, like, people that they don't even know her, they'll be like, they'll beep, and, you know.
Can you stand up just for a second? Let's kind of run through top to bottom. Your hair, if you'll turn around for a second, your hair is like, you put black dots on it like leopard dots, right? And it's shaved pretty much in the back. You're wearing a T-shirt. We don't want to. Don't open the No, don't open the T-shirt.
This is the latest.
We'll go off the air.
This is,
Both of your arms are completely tattooed. How much of your body's tattooed?
A lot of it.
like her legs, like she has like lots on her legs and her back. Like
your
there's
legs
a lot that
your
you
legs
can't
are mostly
see.
covered. They're tattooed.
Her toes.
You know your stockings are ripped, right?
Yeah.
You never know. I'm just. All right. So now, do you? Yeah, you can sit down. Can you even get a job?
Yeah, I have a job.
What? What?
Well, what I do, I sell like stuff like this, like the hair dye and everything in my store that I work at.
Was any of this painful?
A little bit.
Little
bit.
What was the most painful piercing of your 57 piercings?
This one, I think.
The nose?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right
You
in the middle.
You did it yourself. With what?
Safety pin.
Man. So you do have a job, but Jade, you say she sleeps in her car? Or?
Well, she used to sleep in her car, and you know she'll sleep in her car at the drop of a hat. I mean, it's like no big deal. I just don't. I mean, I could.
But she's not
I could
homeless.
never
I mean,
sleep
you
in my
have
car.
You have a home, Kim.
Right now I do, yeah.
Yeah, but you know, she moves around like constantly, and
you know what? You can tell that you have a really pretty face. You will get more attention being a regular looking woman than that get up.
She does. She's beautiful.
You said that, Jay, too, that she does have a very pretty face.
We went to this buffet at the casinos, and like there's all these old people, and they're like, "Oh, sweetheart, you know, you could be so pretty if you just didn't have those. Like, why did you do that to yourself?" And
speaking of tattoos, don't some people have tattoos? I've heard, Jay, didn't you say?
Yeah, there's like quite a few guys who've had like her face tattooed,
Yeah,
like
just one on the face.
On
is it
their
just
bodies.
one? Or her name, or you know,
on their
different,
bodies.
you know.
I'm just curious, how long does it take you to like get ready with your hair and everything before you go out?
I don't really do anything with my hair. I just leave
hours.
No, I mean like from your previous, like the hairstyles, everything going out.
This morning.
You know, like your hairstyles where you had it all going all in different directions. I mean, does someone help you with that, or?
The one picture, your hair was like 2 feet high.
Oh,
that
well,
takes
I
some
put it
time.
up and I just leave it up as long as it'll stay up. I don't like wash it out every day and put it up again. No way. I leave it up for like a month or something.
Do you wash regularly or? Jay?
Her hair, never.
How about the rest?
Can I show you her clothes? Like, yeah. This is her green hoodie. All right. Notice like the sleeves. Okay.
How often, Kim, do you shower and clean up?
Whenever I need to.
She look I mean, if she like.
God, you're looking splendid, you two. Thank you.
Thank you.
Quite sort of Rocky Horror Show type things. This wedding of yours, this vampire wedding, what were you wearing for it, Lily?
I wore an ivory lycra and lace dress that had a fitted bodice and a big skirt.
And white makeup and stuff?
Yeah, the blood red lips and the nails and...
And Justin, you were dressed pretty much like that?
Yes, with the makeup on as well.
I think the person who got the biggest shock was either your mother or the vicar. Which one?
The vicar.
Yeah, definitely the vicar, especially when I walked in, because a few days before we'd gone for the practice, and then when I walked in with my red line cape and the frock coat and everything and the makeup, is a bit shocked when I walked through.
There were actually comments about whether the service would actually go ahead, because this is a very small village where I used to live, and he wasn't actually sure if he could cope with it. But it happened.
And you had 2 wedding cakes?
2.
Yeah.
Your standard, nice, pretty wedding cake, and an hour cake.
A what cake?
Hour cake.
What was it like?
It was a sponge cake, because I don't eat fruit cake. And it had black icing on it. And my husband's band is called 13 Candles, and it had 13 silver candles on it.
Cool. Now you've got a little sort of Dracula baby.
Yes, a miniature.
And he's how many months old?
7.
7 months old. You dress him almost entirely in black.
Yeah.
And we've got a picture of him. Oh, look. And and just tell us what your little Dracula baby's names are.
His full name.
This man says Damien.
I have a friend called Damien, and he is.
What are his names?
His full name is Jareth Valen Lestat Dracul.
Lestat comes from Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah.
Jareth is
Labyrinth.
Right.
David Bowie. And Valen, he just quite fancied it.
Describe the decor at your pad.
Covered in mock tombstones, skulls, a couple of them are real.
What's your name? Robbie. Robbie, you're a very statuesque young lady.
Yeah.
But you're a young lady, aren't you? I mean, I don't know. By choice, by choice, if not by birth. I understand. I don't think our audience at home nor I really understands what it is that you do. I mean, tell us.
What I do at night? Yeah. I'm a bartender. I pour drinks for all these kids here. That's right. Yeah.
Is that your career? Have you been at this for long?
Oh, I've been going out since I was like 13, so. And what? Oh, yeah, I made like a couple movies last year, and yeah.
And where are you from?
Things, Colorado.
And did you come to New York specifically to get into the club scene?
No, I was coming here to go to school, but I'm not as good as Tony, I guess. I got a little carried away.
So you got sidetracked?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what about you two? Excuse me a second. Here, you two stand up. I love your hardware. What is that? Hardware? Now, what do you two call yourselves?
The Twins.
But it's more than, is that your only name?
Well, the Twins, we have actual names that we were given at birth. I'm Robert. And Tim.
Are you really related?
Yes. Yes.
Or is it just, part that you want to be related?
That's true. Well, for now we are.
Okay, and your hair, I love it. I mean, I couldn't help but notice. Why? Is it an artistic statement? I think it was Michael said that you're art on the move.
In a way, it's more like a gimmick, a commercial gimmick. It's part of each, because we are both artists. I have a degree in modern dance and photography, and Tim has a degree in creative writing. And we hope to make a record soon and a lot of things like that. But we feel as people that we are more art than just a painting on a wall. I mean, it's hard to understand the world as just from seeing it as things that are past done. It's better to see it now.
I get you. I sort of get you. Now, what about, before I move on from this topic, what about this ecstasy? Now, you two, as you know, have a notorious reputation of it. Is it part of your lifestyle? Is that what you carry in these lunch buckets?
No.
No.
As
be truthful. Now, no, stop beating around the bush.
We'll be honest. We actually don't do drugs. Me and Tim don't do drugs. Take my blood. I'll be tested right now. I don't. We have had a lot of parties, and we do give away drinks and lots of things. But it's for people to enjoy. It's a matter of choice. It's not like we force anything on anyone. Yeah. It's everyone's.
But you don't condemn it either?
No. No, I don't.
Ah, come on, you guys. You have a magazine called Project X. Now, doesn't the X refer, at least in part, to ecstasy?
Yes, it refers to many things. X-rated, ecstasy, X people, whatever, sure. Things we like to talk about and that are part of the lifestyle.
In Studio 54 in the early 70s, and it really seems that is to everyone kind of the holy grail, that moment, that brief moment in New York history. During those days, cocaine was an integral part of that crowd, aside from celebrities and wild people being mixed. Is it fair to say that ecstasy is, to this crowd, what cocaine was to that one almost 15 years ago?
Well, depends on what kind of club it is. And ecstasy definitely is a fun...
these people's kinds of club.
Ecstasy is definitely a fun drug, and not that I'm recommending anybody to do it, but it definitely helps to make a great party, whether it's in a club or not,
With all those people biting their lower lip and rubbing their heads against the wall?
All those spineless people, yes.
Right. I'd like to know, where do you buy your clothes? Do you buy them somewhere special, or do you make them yourselves, or a mixture of both?
A lot of us design. Most people make their own clothes.
Now, you stand. Yeah, you with the red hair. Did you make your outfit? Is that?
I bought it at a secret place my friend Revis and I go to that we don't tell anyone because there'll be none left.
Hey, you stand up too. You're her friend,
yeah.
And you have such a deep voice for a pretty girl. Isabella, who is it?
You dirty fucker. What a clever boy. What a fucking rotter.
You're used to them.
But do you not actually adopt the style in order to provoke people?
No. We do it because we want to do it. It's a free world.
We want to be individuals, so we do it. It's
Quite
like,
right.
Why are you wearing that jumper there? Because you want to wear it.
Quite right.
It's the same thing.
And it's already causing considerable merriment.
What's wrong?
Well, this is not meant as a joke. Just tell me, for my own education, how do you sleep at night with that?
Well, it depends on what you're doing, but most nights it's like that.
Beautiful individual
individual family photo. 1, 2, 3, cheese! All right. Thank you guys so much. I have to say, I've had a great time today. I've learned so much. And let me just say, as the old cliche goes, you never judge a book by its cover. That's right. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Fine, thank you.
What's your story?
Well, I'm in young girls' pants. I manufacture pants.
Oh, what filth.
Why don't you prove it now?
I don't feel that there's any great interest in it. Clearly, you must have felt the world wanted to know what your private parts looked like, and now the world knows.
Suggesting
Dummies! Dummies!
A consonant, please, Carol.
C.
A vowel.
That is E.
Another vowel.
Another vowel. I.
Consonant.